Hi, my name is Jordan Aiello, and I'm here to do a speech to inform my audience in regards to Cleopatra the Seventh, who is most formally known as Cleopatra the Great. This is my audience. Say hi, guys.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Okay, good. So, many people don't really know who Cleopatra is. Everyone is familiar with her name and maybe the image of her, but many people aren't really familiar and know like what she stands for and her accomplishments and why she's so famous till this day. Um, Mainly, she was a sole ruler of her time in ancient Egypt. She ruled from 51 BC till 31 BCE, and she was born in Alexandria, Egypt, in 69 BCE. The beautiful thing about her is not only was she a woman who was a sole ruler of her time, which is like unheard of. Women's rights were not even that long ago. But she wasn't even natively Egyptian. She was actually born in the Ptolemaic dynasty, which was a Greco-Roman period. Also, she was wiped from the documents, so there's actually no documentational evidence of Cleopatra's existence other than other people's just written writings or forms, journals and things. Um, so, like I said, she was born in Alexandria, Egypt. She was the only Macedonian Greek that knew Egyptian and hieroglyphics, as well as practiced the traditional Egyptian religion. When she was 18 years old, she was very involved with her father in the political parts of Egypt. And being so involved, Egyptian customs, you have to have a co-regent, male and female always. And so it was very common for, especially royal families, to marry within families just to keep the wealth and the prosperity and the royalty through the same bloodline. It wasn't always consummated. Sometimes they did have kids, sometimes it didn't. It was just to rule and to be, pharaoh. So at 18, she had to marry her dad, and then he died shortly after in, I think it was 51 BCE. And then she had to marry her brother. Her younger brother was 10 years old because it was one in her father. Her father's name was Ptolemy the 13th, so she had to marry her brother Ptolemy the 14th. So as a co-regent, that didn't last very long. The child ended up dying soon after, so then she had to marry her other little brother. And then that didn't really pan out. She became very rebellious and became so involved. She really loved her country, and that's what she was really known for. She was very, very involved with her people and the land and doing what's best for them. And her main objective is she didn't care what it took to make sure her land and her people were prosperous. So she married through the family, did what she had to, and then eventually she decided she could take over on her own, and she started changing the coins, the face of the coins on the money, just her face, instead of her and her brothers. And then she dropped his name from the actual documents. And this really angered him. So then a war began. And there was already kind of a war going on with Rome, with Julius Caesar and Pompey at the same time. And he ended up dying. It was called the River of the Nile battle, sea battle. Sorry, Battle of the Nile was a sea battle, and it was between Pompey and Caesar. And she gained Caesar's trust and used his anger towards Ptolemy, her brother husband, and he ended up dying in this battle. And she ended up eloping with Caesar. And her people didn't really mind because this is what was best. Rome was coming in and protecting Egypt, so they didn't have any problems. So they were eating, they were having a good time, and Cleopatra was just doing her thing. And then eventually, the power, you get more power, you get more hungry for more power, and so there was some other people that weren't really happy about, the elope. Caesar was already married, and they ended up having a son right after. They called him Little Caesar. His name was Ptolemy Caesar. And they call him Little Cession, which is Little Caesar. And this angered a lot of people, and due to the battle, there was like a revolutionary war that started going on between Rome, Greece, Egypt, and this was all involved. And afterwards, Caesar ended up dying in 48 BC and leaving her by herself with this son. And now she's sent back to Egypt, hanging out in Rome with Caesar, and just ruling it by herself and has to have another co-regent. So during the time Mark Antony, if you guys are familiar with Mark Antony, he comes along during the war, and he starts interrogating her and trying to gain her support for his war and get her recruitment. And she sees this as an opportunity to protect her country and her people. There's a war going on. And they end up actually getting married in about 37 BC. They end up having 2 twins, a boy and a girl. One was Cleopatra Selene II, and the other one was Alexander Helios. And they were kind of losing the war. They pissed a lot of people off. She was supposed to marry Octavian due to Caesar's wishes when they eloped and they had a son, and that was his heir. She didn't. She married Mark Antony instead. And after marrying Mark Antony, the war just got worse, and it was like the Revolutionary War, and it was called Battle of Octavian in 31 BC. And Mark Antony ended up dying. And Cleopatra, she's a heroine, and people might think she might be a little bit of a harlot, but she did what it took to protect her country. And when it came down to it, and she was cornered, and she did everything she could, she committed suicide, which is probably one of the most reasons why she's famous, other than the fact that she's sole ruler, and she ruled for 22 years. She was the 16th ruler as a pharaoh, and not just 22 years is a long time, but even as a sole ruler, as a woman, that's unheard of at that time. And behind the scenes, the whole time, she was illegitimate. She accomplished all of this, and she's wiped off of the actual history. All the hieroglyphics and the walls, she's been removed through Egyptian history. She was removed out of the documentations kept. It was the people that were around, they were a part of it, and for bystanders that kept their own notes and journals and their records that can prove who she is today. Over 200 years, for centuries, people remember her. She's famously idolized and envied for loving her country and being so ambitious about protecting the people she cherished. When she came from a completely different place, she wasn't actually Egyptian, she was Macedonian Greek. She was from the Ptolemaic dynasty, so her father, who was Ptolemy 12 or 13, I think it's a 12. He was just a general, like one of Alexander the Great's friends when they took it over. You know, she wasn't natural born Egyptian. They didn't know who her mother was. Her mother, who was supposed to be Cleopatra Tyrrhenia, she disappeared all of a sudden. Her father told me the 12th, that was his sister wife. She disappeared from records the same year Cleopatra was said to be born in 69 BCE. So she has no mother to be accounted for. She's not natural native, and yet she still seemed to accomplish all of this and keep the country happy. So that's it. Bye. Any questions?
That's great.
You guys have any questions? Okay. Did you guys like know who Cleopatra was before? Did you guys know anything?
I didn't know she committed suicide.
Yeah.
Even though you were trying to point
Yeah,
that out.
I didn't know she was Egyptian. I knew she committed suicide, but I didn't know she was Egyptian.
But you guys just knew of her. You
Yeah,
didn't
sure.
know why you knew of her. And that's the thing, and my dog's name is actually Cleopatra, which is why I did this report on her. I think she's a beautiful, independent woman. You know, very smart. She loved to learn. She used that to her
Sounds like a dog.
advantage. She spoke and was able to read and write so many different languages. It was crazy.
I'm saying it's just thug life, man. She did whatever she had to do to survive, like for her people to survive.
She spoke over 6 languages, able to read, write, and speak them. Like, she loved to learn. I don't know, descendant of Alexander the Great. I mean, he had all the scrolls, right? It's kind of like the Templar, right? Isn't that what that? Like, there's like mad missing scrolls from Alexander's time. Like, okay, maybe I'm just a dork. I'm sorry. Sorry. I thought you were in charge of that. I thought you already did. Kill me.